Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel, and today is Saturday, which means it's a Marvel character spotlight. Now, the only character I could find that's in the news right now, at least for today, actually has to do with Blade. So it's not Blade himself that was in the news, it was the fact that they announced a specific actor who's going to be in the new Blade series slash movie. So, since we don't know what character that person is playing, I thought, why not talk about Blade? So Blade apparently goes by his real name is Eric Brooks, which is something I actually didn't know. I actually, for whatever reason, thought his name was actually Blade. But for those of you who don't know, Blade is a human vampire hybrid. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about his history in the comics as best we can. He's been in a lot. He's been around a long time, and we're going to know a little bit more about him. So, Eric Brooks was born in Soho, London on October 24th, 1922. His father, Lucas Cross, a member of the secret society of the Order of Tyrrhena, sent his pregnant wife Tara to England before he was taken prisoner in Latveria. When she took the name Vanessa Brooks and found shelter with a brothel owner, um, another member of the Order of Tyrrhena. Experiencing labor complications, Tara was forced to seek doctor's assistance. The doctor was actually a ravenous vampire and feasted on the woman as she gave birth, passing on a series of enzymes that altered her body. The enzymes entered the infant's bloodstream, transforming him into what's being called as a vampire's kiss, but he was never converted. In other words, he's half human and half vampire, so they call him Dumpire? I guess that's how you pronounce it. Dhampir. We're just going to call hybrid. Frost was driven away before he could slay the child, but Tara perished, leaving her orphan Eric Brooks to be raised in the brothel. Now, when he was growing up in the streets of London, he ran into an American veteran vampire slayer known as Jamel Afri, and saved him from being killed by vampires with a grudge against the old man. Afri soon learned about Eric and his origins, and decided to help him um, and bring him under his wing, becoming his mentor and foster father and helping him control his new powers. He taught him everything he knew about hunting, fighting, and killing vampires. Now, determined to avenge his mother's death, Eric fashioned himself into a vampire hunter like Afri. While still a teenager, starting to call himself Blade after the sharp weapons with which he used to kill vampires. Finally, Blade and Afri split up when Jamel willingly took the fall for murder when Blade killed a man who was suffering from derangement whom he mistook for a vampire. So Blade has been around for a long time. Um, Blade being born in the 20s and still being around to this day. He's joined the Avengers in the 1970s, where he was to prevent the Daywalkers from causing trouble. He's fought the likes of Dracula, who is a big vampire, obviously. He's had to deal with the Hannibal King, um, who is the vampire detective. The two of them have fought each other, and actually, um, Blade has lost to him. He had to, he was sorry. He was also part of the Night Stalkers, which where he actually had to deal with other people. Um, he was hired to kill Ghost Rider, um, and after they realized that they'd been duped, he decided against it, and the two of them teamed up to fight the person who put the hit on Ghost Rider. He's had to fight Dracula on multiple occasions. He's even fought his own father. He's dealt with vampires left and right. He's like I said, he's dealt with his father again. He's even battled the Punisher. Now, the Punisher Um, the Punisher and him actually teamed up together, which I find hilarious. Mostly due to the fact that the two of them apparently don't like each other. Because, well, they're both anti-heroes, and one thinks the other one's a monster. Actually, they both think each other's a monster, so that's always fun. And anyway, because of their shared interest, they've teamed up together and had to defeat bigger threats. He's teamed up with many people. He's also had to deal with Dracula's son, who is Zaris, in various vampire sections. Um, he's had to team up with the X-Men to take out these vampires, which was not an easy thing. He's teamed up with the Avengers on multiple occasions, as we're aware. He's had to deal with a lot. He's teamed up with the Avengers, but normally he's only dealt with the supernatural. So that means he's teamed up significantly with Spider-Man, surprisingly, mostly due with Morbius. Morbius is the human vampire. Um, we also have him dealing with Doctor Strange, Captain Britain. He's teamed up with Ghost Rider, Punisher. Um, all those in general have been ones he's teamed up with, all to avenge his mother's death and overall just try to make the world a better place. He's had to deal with Black Panther, Wakandans, nothing he hasn't been able to overcome. But that's a little bit of a story. Let's talk about his powers and abilities. So he's got the hybrid physiology, sorry. So he's immune to normal vampire bites. He has the attune to a sensing supernatural, basically the supernatural around him. He's also resistant to aging. And when he was bitten by Morbius, who I talked about earlier, a Spider-Man villain, he gained many of the traditional powers of the vampire without developing their weaknesses. He has superhuman strength, senses, abilities, plus accelerated healing factor. He has superhuman senses. He has an amazing sense of smell, superhuman strength, speed, agility, stamina, durability, all of which I've talked about. He has a regenerative healing factor. He's got containment transfer. He's able to, oh, he's able to pass viruses apparently to other people and also cure them that way. Weird. Prolonged lifespan, which we talked about. He's immune to vampire vulnerabilities. So a stake to the heart would kill him, but not because it's a stake to the heart. It's because, well, his heart is there and he could bleed to death. That being said, he can walk in the sunlight. Garlic doesn't affect him. All that fun stuff. He has the ability to change to and from human form to a more monstrous form by will. He has a wing manifestation, which means he can actually produce wings and fly away. Some of his abilities include he's a master martial artist, expert marksman, expert swordsman, weapon proficiency in pretty much everything, multilingual. He is an expert driver. He has slight sorcery abilities. Um, I don't know. It says he's good at it. It's not something he's definitely well versed in, I would say. He's an intimidator for sure. He has great physical strength. Um, the one weakness he does possess happens to be he needs to ingest fresh blood in order to stay alive. He can inject it into himself, which can help him. He's also vulnerable to red sunlight. Um, which is able to burn his skin at longer exposures to that, which is interesting to know. His paraphernalia include weapons, which is his sword, other guns. He has adamantium swords, daggers, teakwood daggers, sorry, Kevlar body armor, automatic and subautomatic firearms, converted with hollow point, garlic-filled silver bullets. Because, when you're killing vampires, you just got to be prepared for anything. Pretty much all his weapons are custom designed, employed with silver, garlic, sunlight, ultraviolet rays, and such. and he has his motorcycle, which everyone knows about. Now, Marvel, as always, has a power grid. All their levels are ranked out of 7. So Blade's intelligence is 2, which is considered normal. His strength is a 4, which makes him superhuman. He's able to lift around 800 pounds, which is about 25 tons. His speed is normal. His durability is 4, which means he's regenerative. Basically, he can heal from a lot of things. He has no energy projection, which makes him a 1, and his fighting skills are at a 5, meaning he has a master of at least one single form of combat. Now, that does not mean he doesn't know other forms of combat, it just means he's a master at least one level. Now, I'm excited to have Blade be into the MCU. How do you guys feel about it? Let me know in the comments below. I definitely liked Blade. I like the movies. I liked him in the comics. I like him in general. He's just an interesting character, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do with him in the MCU. His voice has been mentioned in the Eternals post-credit scene, but we don't know the future of Blade. Is he going to appear before his movie? We're going to have to wait and see. But, as always, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a good night.